today. I'm going to be golfing later on today, so I'm gonna do my makeup just like more natural, just so that it looks nice out on the course still, but definitely more natural because I'm gonna be out in the wind and stuff. So first things first, I'm going to go in with my primer. I am using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This is, I don't know if it's one of my favorite primers, but it's the current primer that I'm using because I've been told that it's a good dupe for the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I have not used that one, but I hear this is a dupe for it, so if I don't like this, then I probably won't like the more expensive one. But I'm just putting this on all over my face. It is like a little bit stickier. I think that's the Hydro Grip portion of this primer. So I do try to let this just soak into my face for a little bit before I go in with other products, just because it does need a little bit of dry time. But just putting this all over my face. And this was a pretty affordable primer. I think it was like $10 for this whole thing, and normally for like this drugstore makeup, like you can use coupons on it too, so pretty good deal. So while that is soaking into my face, I'm going to do my typical lip plumper that I do, the Too Faced Lip Injection Maximum Plump. I feel like these really hurt when you first do them, but after a while you just kind of get used to it and you wonder if it's working. But put that on while my face is drying. Also going to get my beauty blender wet so that I can put on my foundation. I didn't know until recently you were supposed to get your beauty blender wet to use it. I mean, I guess you don't have to, but it like blends better if you do, and it won't like absorb as much of your product. So, you know, always learning. Just putting this all over my face. I know it looks like a lot right now, but it will be blended out into my face, I promise. Also try not to get it on my lips because I just put on the lip plumper and I do not want that all over my face. I try to dab my beauty blender as much as possible so I'm not like rubbing it into my face, just so I'm dabbing the product in, but it's just more time consuming. Trying not to get this on my AirPod, but also making sure that I'm getting full coverage into my hairline, because I don't want, like if I end up tying my hair up, I don't want it to be obvious that I have a different shade of foundation on. Alright, that looks pretty good, about as good as it's gonna be. I could go in with some more, but I just don't want it to be like a cakey look, because I'm probably gonna be sweating when I'm golfing later. Not probably, I might be, but we'll see. So if you guys are curious about the fit, I have on my Nike. This is actually like a tennis skirt, so it has the shorts underneath, but I just like it for more like security when I golf. And then this top is from Lululemon, so just keeping it basic today. I did want to wear a different top, but it's dirty right now, so this is the fit we're going with. And then my golf shoes are gray, so I think it's gonna work. I think it's all gonna go together nicely. All right, foundation's done. I am sufficiently happy with that. And now I'm going to go in with, I think I'm gonna try to do blush today, so I'm gonna use a different, I'm gonna use the brush I normally use for my powder for blush, so I'm gonna go in with a different brush today. So I'm currently putting on the Laura Mercier setting powder. I would say this is my current favorite just because I think I've repurchased it like 2 or 3 times already, but I'm sure there's other ones that are just as good as this one. I'm going in with, this is the KKW Beauty brush. It's like a dual-ended. It's got a sponge on one end. Sorry, the sponge is so dirty. And like a more firm brush on the other end. I normally do this for when I'm doing like under eye concealer, but I'm going to use the brush that I normally use for my powder for blush, because I don't have a blush brush yet, because I'm not sure if I like it or not. So we'll give it a try. So there is powder. And I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour. This is technically a foundation in itself, so you could just put this on as just a foundation instead of doing like the liquid that I did, but I just feel like I need that fuller coverage, so for me, I put this on top of everything else. So making sure that I am blending it down into my neck, just so that it all looks a little bit more cohesive with the look. All right, looks good. I'm now going to go in with my bronzer, my blush, and my highlighter. So this is like probably the third time that I've ever tried to use blush, so we'll see how this goes for me. But first, we're gonna do the NARS Laguna Bronzer with an IT fan brush, just because I prefer to have that more diffused bronze look and not like a really harsh contour line. Also because I do feel like I bronze with a color that's dark, so I just want it to be just a nice blend, a nice little airbrush look as best as possible. And I'm just putting this like below my cheekbones just to give my face a little bit more dimension here, because my face is very spherical. And putting a little bit under my chin just to give my face a little bit more shape, as well as on my forehead just to give that like a little bit of nice color as well. Now I'm going to try to go in with my blush here. This is just like a little trial size of the NARS blush here. If I could open it, because I don't know if I like the look, and I don't know if this is the right color for me, but this is like I think the #1 best-selling blush, so we're gonna go with it. I'm just gonna put it on like the apples of my cheeks here. This is definitely shimmery, which I don't think I realized until today's application. Then just brush it up towards my temples here. All right, I'm gonna call that good on blush. It's probably a touch light just because I'm nervous about using it. That's okay. I'm gonna go in with highlighter. This is the Ofra highlighter. I've used a lot of highlighters, I feel like, in my lifetime. This is my favorite of them just because it's like super quick color payoff. Like it instantly is like making you glow, and like probably for like a lot of people this is like too much, but I like it. So there we go. That's the look. I might blend this just a touch more with my first bronzing brush there, just so that everything's all like blended up and looks nice. Okay, looks good. Now I am going to start on my eyes, and I am trying to do like a little bit more of like a natural eyeshadow look, so I'm not going to do anything too crazy. I'm also going to go in with what I feel like is my least pigmented palette. And I don't know if it's because of the colors I picked or the formula, but this is the Natasha Denona Mini Nude palette. And I think this thing was like $25 or something. It is so small, but good for you, Natasha, for being able to charge prices like that. So I am now going to prime my eyelids. I did a makeup look yesterday where I used like a bronze glitter, so I do just want to make sure this is off of my glitter brush also before I do too intensive a look than I wanted. So I'm going to go in with the KVD Shake Primer. Remember to shake it this time. And I do like it because you have to tap the bottom for the product to come out, so you're not just like panicking that there's product everywhere. Alright, just putting this on all over my lids. I feel like this does just make the colors more vibrant, especially when they go on my lid. I don't know about longevity, but it certainly makes them brighter when they go on to my lid. Now I'm going to go in to my Natasha Denona palette. I'm going in with Sigma brushes. Pretty much all the brushes I use are Sigma. I like this because there's just not that many colors, so it's very, I don't know, it's to the point. So I'm going in with kind of the only color that makes sense to do the transition shade, just this second color here. And I'm just doing this, like making a little V and just kind of fanning it windshield wiper across my lid. I don't like that this does not have like a brow bone color, just because I'm someone that does like to do like a little bit of brow bone just so it helps blend like the top part of my shadow, but that's okay. I guess it was only $25, but $25 is still a lot for this. I mean, I got it when I went to pick it up from Sephora and I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so small. Like, is this gonna like work twice and then that's it? But it's lasted more than that, but it was a little bit of a shock when I first picked this up at how small it was. But I think that's kind of what happens sometimes when you get these higher end beauty products, is it's just you're paying more for the name. Sometimes the formulation's better, but a lot of times you're just paying more for the name. Alright, so I've just gone in with this color all over my lid, and I think that's good enough because I am still trying to do like a more natural look. I'm just going to go in with this shimmer shade here and just put this all over my lid just because I'm trying to keep it really natural, just so I have a little something on my face, because I feel like I'm kind of one of those makeup girls, but I also want it to be pretty natural still. So I'm just going to do a little bit of inner corner and just put a little shimmer here. Looks good. I am going to do just a little bit of that under eye as well, just because I feel like it really ties the whole eye look together. So just under my eye a little bit, because I do feel like there's a difference between this eye that has it and this eye that doesn't. Like if we look in like less harsh light, like I just feel like this eye looks more put together than this eye. But moving along here, just putting it under this eye here. Alright, looks good. Alright, put all of my eye pencils away, and I'm going to go in with my liner. This is my only liner. It is the Kvd Tattoo Liner. I don't know how I ended up with so many Kvd products. I think just because I got a whole bunch to try when I was working at a makeup store, and I was like, I don't know, these work fine. So another liner I really like is the Stila one that has the really slim line. But this one I feel like is like, I think this one's cheaper. And I do feel like I like it when it has like the very black. It's not just like, oh, that could be gray. So, okay, this line's a little thicker than I wanted, but that's okay. Moving right along here. Now we're going to go in with lash primer. I'm going in with the Pacifica Vegan Collagen Lash Primer here. I'm just going to put a couple coats on my lashes. I like how I say I'm going to do a couple coats and I'm here like just piling it on. The thing with primer is that I do have to make sure that I'm doing like a thorough job when I go back in with my mascara, just because I don't want to have any like random white eyelashes. Alright, primer is done. Then I'm going to do my typical two mascaras that I use. I'm going in with the Urban Decay Perversion first, and then I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution 5D Lash Pow. Typically, I normally just use this one Urban Decay mascara, but I bought the other one from a BuzzFeed video, and now I feel like compelled to use it because I bought it. So, but I don't like the look of the Makeup Revolution mascara by itself. Like, it just makes my eyelashes, I feel like, too chunky. Then all I do all day is like tug at my eyelashes, and that's not a good habit. So I layered on top of this Urban Decay mascara just because then I feel like I'm not tugging my eyelashes as much during the day. Because this Urban Decay one I feel like gives me like a nice separation. But this is like the normal everyday mascara that I used for several months. It was just this one. I do my lower lash line just because I'm a fan of the lower lash line look, and I feel like this mascara is one that does it well. Like, it makes it obvious without making it too chunky. So I like this one. Go in the other eye here. I feel like if I take time to do my mascara well, like, it looks really nice, but I normally don't take the time to do it that well, so just not getting maximum bang for my buck, and I just feel like I need to do extensions and false lashes instead. Onto the lower lash. I did watch a video yesterday that said that, I think it was Kylie Jenner, she does her upper lashes in black and her lower ones in brown for a more natural look, and so I'm wondering if maybe that's something that I should try in the future. That sounds kind of interesting. Sometimes it is too harsh for every day to have the lower lash line in black. But, all right, first mascara is done. I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution one, and I don't put too much of this on just because, as I mentioned earlier, like, I do feel like it is pretty chunky. And I don't know if it's because of like the way that the bottle is just shaped, it makes it chunkier, because this one, it doesn't like fully close. You just like push it, like pump it down. And so I don't know if that just like puts too much product on it and I'm not opening it well, or kind of what the deal is there. But I just try to apply this kind of lightly, because if I don't, then my lashes will get way too chunky and I just tug at them all day, and that's not good. All right, comment here says, okay, so I'm going to Ulta later, and I'm trying, I think you should really only spend kind of what you want to spend on makeup. Like, I think it's one of those things where you can buy really expensive brand name products, and you know, you can, some of the formulations, they are like a little bit better, but honestly, like with drugstore stuff, you can really just make it happen. For me personally, I do use like a lot of the higher ended products just because I did used to work at Ulta, so I had gotten a discount on the products. But honestly, you don't need to use higher end stuff if you don't want to. Plus with Ulta, it's really nice because they take your returns, like pretty much no questions asked whether you tried things or not. So if you do want to just try out a couple products and then return them like a couple weeks later, they're very open to that as well. So I would really say just spend what you're comfortable spending. For me personally, I spend way too much on makeup. For their rewards tiers, I'm like the top tier because I spend over $1,800 there a year. But I also get my hair done there also. So that's like a couple $100 every month. But I would say if you can, try to do the drugstore products, and maybe like the products that you find are like really more important, go over to the high-end section. So like for me, like I don't really care about my whole face. Like I could do my whole face with drugstore makeup, but like for me, like I really like having a nicer mascara. Like I've pretty much always used a nicer mascara because that's like my one thing. But with Ulta, definitely utilize their point system when you're going there. All right, now I'm going to go on to my eyebrows here. I feel like this look a pretty nice, like natural eye. So I don't have much eyebrow naturally, so I'm gonna try to draw some in. And right now they're not looking too hot, but we're gonna do the best that we can with them and try to get something going here. So first I'm going in with a Morphe pencil. This is a good example of like, you don't always have to buy higher ended products. So I used to buy the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pencil, and I think they're like $20 or $24 for a pencil that looks pretty much just like this, just to do your eyebrows. And this one is $6 from Morphe instead, and I think it does just as fine of a job as Anastasia. I actually like this better than the Anastasia pencils because I feel like it lasts longer, and like sometimes I would like rub my forehead and the Anastasia would come off. Yeah, they don't ask questions when you return products, like especially, I think they have samples out now, like where you can test products in store, but when those weren't out in store, like people would come in for foundation and they would have to buy like 3 shades, take them home, try them out, and then return the other 2, or maybe even all 3 if they weren't the right shade. So Ulta's really good about returns. Like they'll ask you like, hey, did you use this? Just say like, yeah, I used it a couple times and it's not for me, and they'll take it back. Like I think unless you're like doing it like a lot, then there's not a problem. But like as long as you're like, hey, I tried this, I saw it in a video, or I saw some influencer using it, you know, or even like if like the sales associate there recommended it to you, like they'll take it back from you, because all that stuff just gets like trashed anyway. Like normally we have like at the end of the day when I was working like at the store I was at, like we'd have like a whole like big shopping like basket, like just full of stuff that people had like tried at the store and like returned it because it wasn't quite right. I mean, there are even people that would try out like blow dryers and they're like, this did not work for me, and we would take it back just because like they really want to be like a top beauty destination, just because the beauty market is so saturated right now. With like Sephora and like, you know, all these other like influencers are making their own brands and stuff. So Ulta does try to, I feel like, be pretty accommodating and flexible with their returns. So, but if you are going to return something from there that you use, just be honest and say that you used it so that someone else does not get your used beauty products. Like they're going to take it back. Like usually when I would do returns, I'd say like, hey, did you use this by chance, just so it doesn't go back to the sales floor? Like, I'm still going to take your return. Otherwise, like, I don't know, people would feel, I guess, like they need to lie about that to get their return accepted. But you don't. It just gets thrown away. I think we have to destroy it just so that dumpster divers don't grab it. But it all goes back. All right, now that I have some sort of like line on my face for my eyebrows, I'm now going to go in with, this is also the Morphe brow gel. You can see I've used quite a bit of it. It's actually probably time to get a new one. But I go in with this and fill in the lovely outline that I made. I do try to go heavier with the color, like towards the tail of my brow. And then a little bit lighter towards the front. I really like how this eyebrow is turning out. Not so much this eyebrow, but we're working through it. But for these products, I used to have the Anastasia like brow pomade, and I had like the pencil, and it was just like $45 for both, I think. And honestly, this Morphe one, this is like $12 for both. Plus you can use coupons on it, so. Another tip, if you go to Ulta, always use the $3.50 off 15 coupon if you're buying stuff from like the like more drugstore side of the store. Because a lot of people buy drugstore stuff and they won't have coupons, and I'm like, you literally could be saving $3.50 right now. So I would like sometimes suggest it to people to get a coupon out. Like I'd be like, especially if it was like a younger person that I knew had a smartphone, I'd be like, hey, if you want to just Google Ulta coupon, you can get $3.50 off right now, which I don't know if I was supposed to do, but like, hey, we were all in high school once, just like trying to struggle to like keep up with trends with like no money. So if I could save like, you know, a younger version of myself, $3.50, why not? So just feathering out the front a little bit here, just so it looks a little bit more natural. Although I mean, this doesn't look natural, but as natural as it can look. And then I'm going to go in with the NYX Control Freak eyebrow gel, just to keep the color on my eyebrows, just so that hopefully when I touch them, that it doesn't, color doesn't come off too much. Just keep the little brow hairs I have in place and keep the color that I put on it there. Now I'm going to set my face. I am using the Hourglass Veil Soft Focus Setting Spray. I only bought this because I bought their primer, because their primer was always sold out from Hourglass, and so I was like, wow, this must be really good, because people would always ask about it when it was going to be in store and everything. And I was like, well, if I have the primer and I spent $54 on the primer, may as well get the matching setting spray, just so we have the whole set. But I don't know if this setting spray is like truly, you know, that great, but it does last a really long time. I have been using, I actually have two of these setting sprays, because I bought one for when I went away to college, so that when I had like no money, that I wasn't like, I need to buy a very expensive setting spray now. So I've been using the two, I think, for like a year, and neither of them has run out, so that's pretty good. But I do like the Morphe one, that one's pretty good. As well as the Milani, I think, is one of the best on the market, and a lot of people do like the NYX setting spray as well. But for me, my face is just so oily that nothing really works, so I just try to actually touch it up with products when I can, or I just kind of let my face go oily because I don't normally care. I was like, this is what my face is. So I'm just dabbing off my lip primer here. And then I'm going to go in with my MAC Prep and Prime. This supposedly helps with like the dreaded like lipstick halo, like as you're talking or drinking something or eating something, and like you just have like the little like outline of your lipstick left. This is supposed to help with that. I'm almost out of this, and I decided I was gonna try, I don't even know if this is like a dupe, but it's like a cheaper version. I'm gonna try the LA Girl lip primer next, once I run out of this one, which will probably be in the next week or so, just to see if this is like a good dupe, because this is like $20, so, and I think this one was like $4, so I'm gonna try this one next. I also think I might do a video tonight, because looking in this drawer, I realized I have these Indeed bronzing drops, which I've never used, and so I think I'm too afraid to put these on with my normal face, but maybe like tonight after I take my makeup off, I'm gonna try this. But let me see if there's a lipstick in here that I want to wear. No, okay. I will be right back. I'm going to go get my lipstick. I will not be showing my feet, but thank you for that request. I do have a video where I'm trying on heels, if you're curious, I guess. If you look at my past broadcasts, either here on Twitch, and I also post them on YouTube, there's a video of me trying on heels, if that's really what you want to see. But the point is the shoes that are on my feet. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab my lipstick. All right, I am back with another KVD product. This is pretty much my go-to lipstick. Like, I've actually like gone through a whole tube of this liquid lipstick, and this is like the repurchase of it, which I feel like is so rare to go through an entire lipstick. Like, who does that? I guess just like crazy people like me. So I probably should use less KVD products, because I do hear she does some kind of weird stuff, but that's none of my business. So I'm just going to put this on. I am going to take a little bit of this off. I feel like this is a little too much color I'm going in with. I do overline a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Thank you for your kind comments. Alright, just do my top lip here. Sorry I'm not talking. I'm trying not to smear this all over my face, which I've done, and it sucks. Alright. My trick is that I try to smile just to see like what my lipstick looks like and see if it looks symmetrical. Because I hate where I have photos where I'm smiling and my lipstick just looks terrible. Like, it'll look fine normally, and then as soon as I smile, I'm like, this is terrible. Alright. I think that looks as good as it's gonna get today. But this is my, I feel like, most natural lip color that I actually wear this like almost every day for work, so. Let me just take this to where the lighting's a little bit better, but here's the finished look. I feel like it's just like a nice, like pretty natural look. I mean, for me, this is like natural. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully you guys like it.